Would you rather kill 250 people on a plane or 5,000 in an airport? Hey, come on, you're not gonna shoot me, Ethan.
Happy to see you in 2025, my dear English learners. This holiday season, apart from Santa's kidnapping and cliché rom-coms, we've got a thriller. Yes, can you believe it? It's been a long time since a holiday movie is not about a holiday or a romantic story. Carry On is about a life-changing, terrifying blackmail that just so happens on Christmas Eve. It's such a fresh release, but already has got everyone talking. We are not going to watch it until the very end. There won't be lots of spoilers, but you can watch the podcast review on the channel to learn more about it. In this English lesson practice, I'm going to help you watch it in English and understand the conversations better, so you can even watch it without subtitles and train your listening skills. It's going to be interesting and productive, so let's give it a shot and have fun together. The film Carry On doesn't have any difficult idioms or advanced phrases, but lots of useful everyday vocabulary for you to remember. We are going to learn it by training your listening skills, doing an exercise, catch and missing words. Together we will find the correct meaning of it and furthermore go through some confusing words. In the end, we'll practice your speaking using the new vocabulary. Sounds exciting? So let's get started. The film begins with the antagonist, the bad guy, who comes to pick up the order. Listen to the conversation and catch the missing word. If you need to listen to it again, just go back.
It was not as easy as we anticipated getting this Novichok. Custom inspector doubled his price. Not as easy as we anticipated getting this Novichok. Custom inspector doubled his price.
It was not as easy as we anticipated. You can see the comparison as that is used to compare two things that are more or less equal, like as good as gold, the weather is as bad as last year. The missing word is anticipate. It's level C1, meaning it's advanced level. So what do you think it means? Expect, predict, hope, or wish? The closest meaning is to expect, but the word predict is also a synonym. When you anticipate something, you imagine or expect that something will happen. For example, I anticipate you hit me the like for the video and subscribe not to miss any further lessons. The guy is talking about some Novichok. In case you haven't heard of it, it's a quite new chemical weapon that Russia uses to kill whoever it wants to kill. The latest official proof of using it was in 2020, when Putin's opponent Mr. Navalny was poisoned by this chemical weapon and fortunately survived, but was killed anyway last year in prison. So the bad guy kills the dealer, sets the place on fire, takes the bomb and leaves. We are moving to the main character, Ethan, played by Taron Egerton, and his girlfriend, played by Sofia Carson.
When do you think the bump comes? I hope soon. I'll have a baby bump. When do you think the bump comes? I hope soon. I'll have a baby bump.
When do you think the bump comes? If you just Google the word bump, you'll get the meaning of increased area, like a bump on the road. But if you type a baby bump, you'll see it means a belly of a pregnant woman. Sometimes native speakers omit the word baby when everyone knows what people are talking about, and it may confuse non-native speakers. I remember I was asked by one of my students about that scandalous interview on Black Lively being rude to the interviewer, who said, "Congratulations on your little bump." And my student didn't understand what it was about.
First of all, congrats on your little bump.
Congrats on your little bump.
What about my bump?
Blake basically congratulated the interviewer with just having a belly, because she wasn't pregnant, and that was totally inappropriate and very rude. So Ethan and pregnant Nora are getting ready to work.
Just a sip. Our baby can be 1 IQ point shy of genius.
Okay.
Just a sip. Our baby can be 1 IQ point shy of genius.
Okay.
She drinks coffee, which is not really recommended when someone is pregnant, and says, "Our baby can be 1 IQ point shy of genius." What she means by that? The baby will be as smart as genius? The baby will be even smarter than genius? Or the baby will be a bit less smart than genius? When you describe someone as shy, you mean the person is nervous and uncomfortable around people. But if you say shy of, it means less than something or under some amount or number. For example, she got married 2 days shy of her 20th birthday, meaning right before 20 years old. The votes are shy of 50%, meaning almost 50%. You can use it also to say in the time. For example, it's 10:29, so you can say it's shy of 10:30.
This Christmas is a full tank Merry Christmas. It's a happy Christmas like they have in England. This Christmas is a full tank Merry Christmas. It's a happy Christmas like they have in England.
Taron Egerton is a British actor, and he's right. British people do say Happy Christmas. Americans say Merry Christmas, but Happy Holidays. And this Christmas is full tank for Ethan. The general meaning is the tank in the car is full of petrol, or gas, as Americans say, which makes British people laugh because they say Americans call liquid a gas. In the film, though, full tank is used as a figurative expression and has nothing to do with petrol. It's a metaphor that means someone's at their best, full of enthusiasm and ready to take on challenges. He's saying that because they found out they're expecting a baby. You can use this expression both in casual and professional settings. For example, you can say, "After the holidays, I am expected to be back to work on a full tank," meaning full of energy.
It's okay to be nervous.
I'm not scared. Thought I'd be further along by the time this happened. I'm not scared. Thought I'd be further along by the time this happened.
Ethan is not scared of having a baby, but wants to be further along at this point. What does he mean? To be more advanced in his career? To be closer to achieving his goals? Or to be more successful in his life? He means all of that. The phrase further along means to a more advanced point of something. So by this expression we understand he's not where he wants to be in his career. Further is one of the irregular adjectives comparison forms. Far, farther the farthest, and far, further the furthest. Is there any difference? When should we use farther and when further? Some grammar guides suggest farther should be used for physical distances, like to go farther along the road, and further for literal distances, like let's not discuss it further. However, I've seen many examples of only further being used for both physical and literal distances. So don't worry about it. It's not a mistake if you use only the word further.
I know what I want for Christmas. I want you to seriously consider applying to the police academy again. I want you to seriously consider applying to the police academy again.
I want you seriously consider applying to the police academy again. So Ethan wanted to be a policeman, but it never happened. Consider means to spend time thinking about a possibility or making a decision. It's the word of level B1, and I believe you're familiar with it. But the reason I've chosen this word is because I've been quite frequently asked what is correct. Consider to do something or consider doing something. Consider requires the gerund, the verb with ing ending. And as you see the example in the film, she says, consider applying. You can say, consider whether to apply, consider whether to do, consider whether to go, but not consider to apply. That's a mistake. Let's remember that. Another confusing word in this sentence is apply. She says, apply to the police academy. Can you say apply for instead of apply to? Yes, you can, but there is a difference. Apply means to make a formal application. So apply to is used when referring to the organization. For example, apply to a university, company, or program. Apply for is used when referring to the specific position or opportunity. For example, apply for a job, for a scholarship or admission. So I can use them both in one sentence. My mom wanted me to apply to the university, but I applied for a job instead. In the film, the police academy is the institution. It's not a position. That's why Nora says apply to the police academy.
Now, they could come 2 hours early, like we tell them to, but they don't. They'll try to bait you into a fight.
Do not take the bait.
They'll try to bait you into a fight.
Do not take the bait.
Ethan is running late. On the staff briefing, his boss is talking about angry and anxious passengers who can bait the airport workers into fight. He means threaten, provoke, manipulate, or annoy. The closest meaning of the word bait is to provoke someone to do something by doing annoying things. Manipulate can also be used as a synonym because baiting is an emotionally manipulative tactic when someone deliberately says things they know will upset you. If you feel someone is doing that, don't let them have the upper hand. Don't lose your cool and don't respond out of anger.
DHS just alerted us to fraudulent boarding passes. We've all been issued brand new counterfeit pens. I need you to use them. DHS just alerted us to fraudulent boarding passes. We've all been issued brand new counterfeit pens. I need you to use them.
Fraudulent boarding passes and counterfeit pens. The vocabulary is getting more and more advanced. Both words are level C2, which is advanced professional level. Fraudulent is an action or object that is intentionally misleading and used to trick others. So fraudulent boarding passes can be real boarding passes but stolen and used by someone else, or fake boarding passes. If you use false information about yourself in legal documents, you are committing a fraudulent act because you are lying, you are deceiving other people. In these two examples, both fake and real things are used for deceiving, and this is called fraudulent. The synonym of counterfeit is fake, but counterfeit is used with valuable objects and only objects, not actions. So what can be a fake valuable object? Counterfeit jewelry, counterfeit passport, counterfeit money, counterfeit signature, clothes, license, and so on and so forth. Counterfeit pens are used to identify the fake material or paper, like boarding passes or money. That's why the security guy suggests using those pens. To summarize, fraudulent describes actions and objects. Counterfeit describes only objects. All counterfeit items are fraudulent because they deceive people. But not all fraudulent actions involve counterfeiting, meaning involve fake items. After the briefing, Ethan is talking with his friend about Nora's wish for him to reapply to the police academy.
I got here, 2 months after you, and I've already got 2 promotions to your 0? You're just coasting over here. I got here, 2 months after you, and I've already got 2 promotions to your 0? You're just coasting over here.
You are just coasting over here. His friend means Ethan is pursuing his dream, Ethan is succeeding in his goals, or Ethan is proceeding without an effort. As we understand from their conversation, Ethan hasn't achieved anything so far. He has 0 promotions. So he's not succeeding at his job. The word coast as slang has a figurative meaning, which was inspired by ships sailing slowly along the coast. It means to do something without any effort, not working hard and get by without doing much. If you have someone like that at school or work, you can describe their work or study as coasting.
Give him my spot. That'll free up a lead to work between D and E. Keep us from bottlenecking. Give him my spot. That'll free up a lead to work between D&E. Keep us from bottlenecking.
His friend is trying to help Ethan prove he can work harder, so he offers his place at scanning machine, moving his position to the lines to avoid bottlenecking. The place where the road gets narrow and causes traffic to slow down is called a bottleneck. A bottleneck also means a delay or a problem that causes a delay. For example, bureaucratic bottlenecks delayed the project's start. A construction work is causing bottlenecks in the city center. So Ethan is given a chance to show he's better than others think. And here, finally, the interesting part begins.
We have a problem. Our target is not at the machine.
The terrorist's target was Ethan's friend because he has a family and can be easily blackmailed. The so-called traveler has to find out now if Ethan can be easily blackmailed as well.
Okay, let's pivot. Go to his place, fill in some blanks. One bag for one life. All you have to do is nothing. Okay, let's pivot. Go to his place, fill in some blanks. One bag for one life. All you have to do is nothing.
He says, let's pivot. He means let's stop for a while, let's change our decision, or let's check other options. Pivot means change your decision, opinion, or action completely in the middle of the process. Meanwhile, the traveler is talking to Ethan. His accomplice is gathering information about him to fill in the blanks. It's the expression that is used in both literal and figurative meanings. The literal meaning is to write down the missing information. That's the listening exercise you are doing right now. The empty space is the blank and you fill it in with the missing word. The figurative meaning of this expression is to explain something you don't understand or provide the missing information. For example, the movie filled in all the blanks in the very end. You can see it in detective stories or thrillers when you finally get what's been happening. So the traveler found out Ethan's girlfriend is pregnant. He did fill in the blanks and threatened to kill her.
If it's any consolation, you were not my first choice. Now keep your voice down and do exactly as I say. If it's any consolation, you were not my first choice. Now keep your voice down and do exactly as I say.
If it's any consolation, you were not my first choice. When your friend feels bad or sad, you want to say or do something to make them feel better. That is called consolation. You may say words of consolation to cheer them up. If it's any consolation is the phrase that means if it can make you feel better.
My dad wanted to be a cop. Applied so many times he flat out stopped responding. My dad wanted to be a cop. Applied so many times he flat out stopped responding.
The traveler keeps talking to Ethan, trying to distract him from the ideas of asking for help. Ethan wants to be like his dad, who also applied to the police academy. And the reason Ethan never reapplied is because his father applied so many times, they flat out stopped responding. Flat out is a very American phrase, used mostly when not a pleasant information is given. It means simply or directly. So if we rephrase Ethan's response, it would sound, he applied so many times, they simply stopped responding because they were annoyed. Some more examples. He flat out said he wouldn't do it. She just flat out asked what he wanted. During their conversation, by examining all the noises around, finally Ethan spotted the traveler and passed the message to the security guy. But the security gets killed right away. So what Ethan will do now? I believe you'll enjoy the film if you haven't watched it yet. And we are going to practice your speaking using the new vocabulary we've learned today. Ready? Rephrase the sentence using new words and expressions. Number 1. She expected a warm welcome at the party, so she prepared a heartfelt speech. She anticipated a warm welcome at the party, so she prepared a heartfelt speech. Even though the word expect is a synonym, it is more neutral than anticipate. Anticipate carries emotional involvement. That's why the choice of word can subtly shift the tone or focus of the sentence. Number 2. The limited number of checkout counters created an obstacle, causing long queues during peak hours. The limited number of checkout counters created a bottleneck, causing long queues during peak hours. The difference lies in specificity. Bottleneck implies a systemic issue causing delays, while obstacle is more general and doesn't necessarily relate to flow or throughput. Number 3. After winning their first few games, the team started to get lazy through the rest of the season, relying on their early success. After winning their first few games, the team started to coast through the rest of the season, relying on their early success. To coast suggests the team is no longer putting in significant effort, simply riding on the momentum of earlier victories, maybe even taking things for granted and being lazy. Number 4. She simply refused to apologize for her mistake. She flat out refused to apologize for her mistake. Both simply and flat out implies straightforwardness, but flat out adds an emotional layer, making the statement feel stronger and more resolute. Simply is more neutral and doesn't carry the same intensity. Number 5. The project was completed just short of the deadline. The project was completed just shy of the deadline. Both phrases mean being close to or falling slightly short of something, but shy of often feels less formal, while short of is more straightforward and commonly used in formal contexts. Number 6. We have a very important and hard project to finish. Let's get fired up. We have a very important and hard project to finish. Let's get a full tank. Full tank and be fired up are synonyms that mean full of enthusiasm, energy, and excitement. Be fired up focuses on emotional intensity and immediate motivation, often driven by passion and excitement. Be on a full tank implies to be ready and prepared, rather than being excited. We did an amazing job together, training your listening skills and practicing your speaking. The next lesson is a long-time anticipated action film of your choice, The Last Boy Scout with Bruce Willis. So don't forget about the like and subscription, and see you in the next video.